morning. Welcome to the January 17th class of Inner Balance Qigong. And I'm going to step back in the space and we'll get going. So, as we do, we'll be taking our foot position in horse stance and slightly bending the knees, tailbone tucked slightly, and begin to allow the shoulders to release away from the ears. Sense the connection that your body's making with the earth. Bring your full awareness into your feet and notice where your center of gravity might be oriented right now. Notice if you're perhaps leaning toward the balls of your feet, so the whole body starts to lean forward, or maybe you're more inclined to lean toward the back of the heels and the body's falling back. Maybe you're hanging out more centered so that the weight is evenly distributed. Where we want the center of gravity to reside is right over the front of the heel. So if the heel of the foot is this sort of circular, like large silver dollar, maybe a bit bigger than that, at the back of the foot, we want to be toward the front of the heel, right as it starts to ascend into the arch. And then the ear resides over the shoulder. So a lot of us thrust the head forward. We want to start to draw that back in so the chin is moving closer to the neck. And the shoulders are over the hips, hips over the knees, knees over the ankles. And my feet are a little bit wider than the hips, but they're all in the same plane. One foot isn't forward or back. And this gives us, puts us in an alignment of the spine posture. And as we sort of sink the center of gravity lower to the ground, we can move more easily in all directions. If we're here, there's a stiffness and perhaps a greater sense of imbalance, but lowering the center of gravity allows us to have greater agility and mobility. Okay, so we're going to tune into the breath, and we'll begin just by observing it in its natural or default rhythm. So at this time, you're not attempting to alter or change the breath, only observing it as it is. Notice its rhythm, the quality of your breath today. We'll bring the fingertips facing each other, palms up, and we'll explore a three-part breath. Imagining the breath is entering through the base of the spine, and the hands will rise. So the breath is entering into the bowl of the pelvis and rising up into the abdominal region, finally up toward the chest cavity. And then the exhalation, palms turn down, and we direct the energy flow down and imagine it releasing out again through the spine, the base of the spine, drawing energy up, filling the bottom up, emptying from the top down. Imagine that you're gathering the chi in your hands, bringing it up into the body. So with each cycle, sort of like a wave, rolling into shore, and then receding back out. Each cycle cleanses, purifies every cell in the body. Explore one more cycle here. Relaxing the hands. Tune in, notice what you notice. Now we'll bring the palms of the hands together, rubbing the hands swiftly and firmly, gazing at the hands as you do this. Where the mind goes, the energy flows. Keep the shoulders down, elbows in near the body, so the shoulders can remain relaxed. Separate the fingers and rub between them. Breath is fluid. Other set of fingers on top now. And then bring the hands back, rubbing the palms. A little bit more firmly, maybe more briskly, and slow it down. And truly bring the hands to stillness. Draw the forearms in near the body and observe with eyes closed or gazing at the hands. Notice how they feel. See if you're detecting any internal movement. Now we're going to turn the fingertips up and fold the fingers down so that the nail beds are resting against one another. And then we'll turn the thumbs up, and the thumbs now, nail beds touch each other. And I'll come a little bit closer just so you can see here. Fingertips are touching. We're going to turn the fingers up, or the thumbs up and first finger, and then rub right at the nail beds. We're activating energy flow through the acupuncture points that are here at the base of the nails. Observe the breath. It's supporting this activity in the body. All right, now we'll slow the hands and bring them to rest. Inhale, open the hands, turn the palms down. Exhale, let them release to the thighs. And again, notice bringing your full awareness into the base of the nails where you were making contact. Now we're going to bring the palms of the hands together, fingertips facing up. I keep moving back and forth here, but I might as well come forward again so you can see a little bit better what I'm doing. We're going to be, the hands are fingers together, thumbs together, and we're going to be separating the thumbs and closing them. First finger, middle, ring, pinky. Do the same again with a pinky and then go back to the ring, middle first, and then thumb. Twice with the thumb again. I think that was 3, but you're only supposed to do 2. So the thumb and the pinkies, we tap twice. All other fingers tap once in succession, gazing at the hands. See if you can pick up the pace at all without losing the rhythm. Great for eye-hand coordination, releasing stagnancy in the hands, and to cultivate energetic pathways from the brain to the periphery of the body. Okay, we'll go one more, ending back with the thumbs. And pause. Notice how the hands feel. And then inhale, let hands separate. Exhale, sink them down, and they rest again in front of the thighs. All right. Now, before I go, this next movement, swimming octopus, we're going to be starting with the palm open. And we're going to, as we draw the hand back, we're going to slowly bring the thumb and fingertips closer and closer together until eventually it makes this kind of beak shape. And then we're going to bend. It's like claws, like a tiger starting to bare its claws, and then eventually the fingers unfurl as we're pushing the hand forward. And I'll talk us through it all as I go back to demonstrate the rest of the form. This is swimming octopus. All right, so for swimming octopus, we are going to start with the feet at about hip bones distance, and we'll inhale deeply, exhale, bend the knees slightly, inhale, step forward with the left foot. So come back a little bit, and the right foot is turned out slightly, and you want the feet offset so that you're stable. If your heels one behind the other, that can be a lot more tippy. So you want to make sure that your heel is farther out to the side. We're going to be placing the left hand on the thigh for stability. And with the inhale, the right hand starts to rise up to the shoulder. Exhale, bending your front knee more, push forward with that hand. And then here we're going to start to straighten the front leg, letting the weight shift into the back as we slowly close the fingers. And they should still be open at your shoulder and really only come touching when the hand is as far back as it can go. Looking at your hand, start to bend the fingers, and gradually as the hand comes forward, unfurl as you're shifting the weight again to the front leg. And just keep shifting the weight from the front to the back as the hand moves and unfurls as it goes. Closes. Inhaling. Exhale and extend forward. Let's do one more on this side. This time with the inhale, bring the hand into the shoulder. Exhale, press down. Inhale, step forward. Exhale, step back. Inhale, hand comes up to the shoulder. Exhale, extend forward, bending the front knee. Watching the hand, shift the weight to the back leg gradually as the hand draws back. Closing the fingertips. Unfurl, exhale as you push forward. We'll do two more on this side. This time, as we extend the arm, for the next inhale, draw the hand in, energy draws in. Exhale, energy goes down. Inhale, step forward. Exhale, and release. So that was swimming octopus. Now we're going to explore just a simple handshake from the wrist, directing energy out through the fingertips. There's movement here in the elbow as well, and the shoulder, but primarily in the wrist. And the fingers, letting them be loose. Feel the shudder move through the entire hand. And gradually we'll slow it down and allow the hands to relax. Now we're going to move on to the thymus thump. Have my whole heart decal here right in the center. That wasn't conscious, but this is just about the area where we're going to be maybe a little bit higher than my heart. Where we're going to be making contact, and we're going to use an open fist, or you could use an open palm if that's more comfortable for your hands. The open fist, we draw the fingers in toward the palm. Thumb comes to the outside of the first finger. So what you're using is the flat part of your fingers here to make contact with the body. This percussive action, and we want to start to thump. Gloria, I'm going to ask you to mute if you can. I thought I had, but it seems that it isn't. Can you make some sound here? Huh, 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 huh. Or pick it up and get it going faster. One more full cycle of breath. Slow it down. Bring it to a pause. Open the hands and rest them on the chest, elbows in near the ribs. Sense the reverberation still moving through the body. All right, now continuing on. Another percussive action. We're going to be accessing the first point on the lung channel. And so if you were to take your hand and trace it out over the collarbone and then drop it down, you find this little divot there, kind of right where the shoulder socket is. And that's the first, there should feel like a little bit of a depression there. And with your first two fingers, if you kind of push those in, and it's really kind of anywhere in this region because the lung channel runs down all the way to the thumb. So we're starting that first point there. And again, we're going to be using the open fist. So with our open fist, we're going to thump, release, thump, release. And again, you could use out an open hand if that's more comfortable. And so we're also breaking up stagnancy of energy in the lung region and opening up congestion if there's any. And we're amplifying what's called Wei Qi. And Wei Qi is our energetic immune system. Think of from The Wizard of Oz, Glinda the Good Witch, who has that bubble that she comes down to earth with. That's you can imagine that our Wei Qi is like that little bubble that she rides around in. Okay, let's do one more each side and slowly release the hands. Let them relax at your sides or just in front of your thighs. Notice how these 2 points feel. Receive a long, slow, deep inhalation and exhale as completely as you can. Now we're going to stroke the waterfall. And so we want to imagine that our fingers are like combs, the tines of a comb. And we're going to imagine that there's this beautiful waterfall in front of us falling down. And we're going to, with the inhalation, bring our hands up through the waterfall, all the way up. And then exhale all the way down. We can bend the knees and sit back in space if that's comfortable. Inhale. You might imagine the water refreshing or warm, whichever. Warm can be refreshing too. Whichever makes sense for you. Maybe you're on some tropical island out of the cold of, well, it's cold here in central New York. Stroking the waterfall. We're drawing yin up from the earth and yang down from the heavens. Balancing these energies within the body. And really, there's only one energy. It just manifests as this polarity. These two directional expressions of energy. And one more. Releasing the hands down. Observe the breath and how the body feels. Now we're going to explore an arm swing, and we're going to let the arms rise in front and swing to the back. And allow the breath to flow naturally, wherever feels good for you. And gradually letting the arms rise higher in front, maybe all the way up. And maybe a slight bounce in the knees as my arms swing back. The balls of my feet are coming away from the floor. You can even go forward farther, letting your ribs come closer to your chest. Or just keep it with your spine extended and vertical and arms swinging. So now, in a moment, we're going to allow the arms to come to rest. But we want to do that in such a way that we're not consciously stopping the body. We're allowing it to come to rest by itself. So next exhalation, let your arms fall down and let them gradually return to stillness of their own accord. And really it's the chi that's coming to rest, which then stills the body. And you might get to where you're noticing a very subtle action, still some movement in the hands, and then eventually when the body comes to rest, you may be present to the internal movement, because the chi continues to flow, just more subtly. Next exploration, we'll be doing some arm circles. And of course, with any of these movements, if you get to a place where you feel like you've had enough, pause, turn your awareness back to your breath, stand comfortably or sit, and then come back to the practice when you feel you're ready to begin again. We're going to, with the inhalation, raise the arms up to shoulder height. And we're going to begin to create circles with the fingertips. Small circles, rolling the hands forward first, then back. Keeping the shoulders down. Imagine your shoulder blades gliding down the back to serve as a counterbalance to the arms. Gradually let your arms create wider circles, wider circumference, until eventually they're coming closer, the hands are coming closer to the body. And as they go back, they'll need to come farther away. And then come back in, making smaller circles. Till you're spiraling back to this very small circle. And then pause. And then inhale deeply. And with your next exhalation, lower your arms as slowly as you possibly can. You might need several cycles of breath to do this. Keep moving your fingertips away from the shoulders as you lower the arms down. Once they're hanging at the sides, notice any sensation that may be present in the arms, in the shoulder region, upper chest and back, certainly in the hands and fingertips. Now we're going to explore the same movement, only we're going to go back. So it's just moving that in an opposite pathway. And we'll inhale. Next exhalation, start your circles going back first. Breath is fluid, gradually widening the circumference. You can bend your elbows if you need to. You want to try to notice if one arm seems like there's greater mobility in the shoulder, or if it feels harmonious from side to side. Gradually start to work your way back to the smaller circumference. And coming to stillness, you might feel some heaviness in the arms. Inhale deeply, exhale, lower them gradually with as many cycles of breath as you require to bring them back alongside the body. Let's bring the feet closer. We've been standing for a bit and in one position, and sometimes Qi can precipitate down and get turbid or stagnant in the feet and ankle region. If we bring the feet closer and then turn the feet out, lifting one heel and then the other, that's a way to just kind of dissipate some of that Qi. It's also great to stretch the sole of the foot, the plantar fascia. And we'll come back with the feet parallel. Here we're going to shake one leg at a time. We'll keep the foot flexed so the toes are pulling toward the knee, if this is your foot and this is your knee. And that protects the knee joint. So we're going to shake from hip to heel like a dog that's gotten wet and is attempting to get all the water off its body. Or my cats as well. I've seen cats do this as well. All right. And coming back. Now we're going to explore some spinal fluidity, movement that will create a supple spine. And we're going back to horse stance. The heel of the hand will rest right where the body meets the leg. In the Qigong practice, we call this the Qua, or the inguinal fold from the Western perspective. And we'll bend the knees, and I'll turn sideways here so you can see. We're really going to be moving the pelvis. Tailbone goes forward and back, forward and back. And then the upper body's just going to kind of follow because the spine is attached to the pelvis. All right. We're going to let the tailbone rise here. So you're cultivating as much of an arch in your lower back as you can. With the exhalation, start to tuck the tailbone forward, extend your legs a little bit more. Fingertips come in toward each other, round the shoulders forward, drop the chin. Inhale, start to bend the knees, tailbone rises, hands come back to where they started, opening the front line, lifting the chin. Exhale, tuck the tail, let the wave roll up your spine, chin drops. Fingertips face each other, that rolls the shoulders forward. Inhale and reverse the curve. And continue. Feel each vertebra in the spine articulate from the bottom up as you open along the front line. Still from the bottom up as you roll forward, so the head drops down last. One more cycle. Here, roll down, bending your knees as far as you can, kind of into a bit of a squat. And then drop your tailbone, lift your chest, arms are heavy. Slowly roll up the spine, chin stays down for a couple of cycles of breath. While you get your bearings. And then gradually allow the chin to rise back to neutral. Now we'll explore a side bending action, which will also involve raising the arms above the head or as high up as you can comfortably, and hinging to the side. And then we're going to roll forward, arms will drop down and swing back behind us, and then rise up again. So I'll take it slow and follow along. Arms down alongside the body. Inhale, they'll rise as high as they can. Exhale, we'll go to the left first and let the arms swing down under the shoulders, hands go past the thighs and up behind you. Push into the earth as you rise up, inhaling. Exhale to the other side as far as you can, and then let the arms roll forward and swing past the legs. Inhaling. Exhale. Feel the deep stretch through the side body, the side you're leaning away from, and then the compression on the side you're going toward. One more each side. Inhale, come up, pause here. Now we'll inhale as though we're stretching a ball of dough. This is a ball of chi. Exhale, condense it and direct it down through the body. Lower dantian. Harnessing it, its energy, its life force, and depositing it into the energetic bank account. We'll move on with a spinal twisting action now. This is great owl turns to look back. And the arms will start down alongside the body. You'll twist and turn to the side as far as you can comfortably. We want the head to go as well with the rest of the body. And we really want to make sure that we're cultivating the greatest mobility possible in the cervical spine. All right, we're going to start with The left hand rising, we're going to watch the hand. Inhale, it comes up above the head, start to turn, to the right, and the right the right hand is here on the hip, and the left hand is coming around, it's your left hand is here on the hip, and right hand here on the side body, or as close to it as you can get it. So we're over here, and then the arms extend away from the body. Inhale, coming up, exhale, and twisting, looking back. Inhale, both arms rise, one following the other. Exhale, and into the twist. So these are the giant owl's wings. Owl has very impressive mobility in its neck. One more each side. And we'll come back, arms above the head, wide. Next inhale, gather the energy. Exhale, bring it down. This next movement is called the fountain, and in other traditions or other lineages, it's rising lotus. We're going to inhale, bring the arms up to shoulder height. Exhale, bending down, the hands sink down in front of or between the legs here, and then bring the fingertips facing each other, and then the fingers start to connect as the hands rise. Then let the palms connect and continue extending your arms up as high as you can, looking up if that's comfortable. With the next exhalation, arms sink down, sitting back in space, squatting down as deeply as you can. Inhale, all the way up. And you can simply do the arm movements without the squat. Begin up through the body, shoots out the head like a fountain, and then the yang, we draw down, and that's like the spray that's raining down as it pours out of the top. Fountain. And we'll do one more cycle. This time, hands float down and rest alongside the body. Pause here, tune in, observing the breath, noticing where your focus may be drawn to particular parts of the body that may be highlighted right now as a result of the movement we've been exploring. Now we're going to bring the feet closer together in a stance, hip bones distance apart, and we'll be exploring a balancing practice. This is a sequence of movement, and you can do as much of it as you like. You might even wish to have a chair nearby, the back of the chair towards your body, so that you can rest your hand on it or be near a wall if that helps you to feel more stable. All right, so we're going to first start with the left leg, and we're going to lift the heel, and then arms will come away from the body. Serves as our ballast, and we're going to rest the ball of the foot of the right of the left foot on the instep of the right. And you might feel your right foot really moving a lot, and we want that movement. All of those little micro adjustments are supporting the balance. That's what's helping to keep us upright. Keeping the knees slightly bent is also helpful. Now, you may need to just pause and step out periodically. We'll go back to it, and now we're going to start to turn the head. If that's possible for you, you might just don't want to hold it right here. But if you're going to turn your head, pick a point of focus on the floor, maybe 8 to 10 feet away from you, and then turn your head, following that point, that arc, along the floor until maybe your head comes all the way to profile. And then follow the arc back to where you started and then go to the other side. Make sure the breath is supporting you. Coming back to center where you started, pause there, and then step your foot out. So the weight is evenly distributed now, relaxing the hands. Notice how the one side of body feels in relation to the other. Now we're going to do the same thing again with the other side. Lift the heel and then place the ball of the foot, picking your point of focus on the floor to gaze at. A couple of cycles of breath here just to get your bearings and allow the movement in the foot. Ride the wave. Rather than fighting it, go with it. And then we'll turn the head first to the right. Breathing as you go. Back to center slowly as you can. And then to the other side. Back to where you began. Take a deep inhale, and then exhaling, step out. Notice now how the two sides of the body feel. Might feel more harmonious, more symmetry, greater sense of balance, one side to the other. Now we're going to come back again to A stance. Here we're going to let the right leg be the standing leg, or we're standing on both legs actually, but we're going to place we're going to be heel to toe. So the left foot is in front of the right. So now that the feet are in the same plane, that challenges the balance, and that might just be enough for you here to explore paying close attention to the breath. If you want to take it a step farther, you can begin to turn your whole body, and the arms can come as far away as they need to. So we'll go to the left first. So the head and torso and arms start to turn. Looking back over your shoulder if you can, and then come back around to where you began. If you imagine that your feet are moving away from each other, the front foot is moving forward, the back foot is moving back, and slightly bending the knee, that can help as well. Keep your balance. Arms come in, we'll lift the front foot and step out. And then same thing now on the other side. Slight bend in the knee, and we'll begin to turn to the right first. Back to center. And to the other side. Turning to center. Lift the foot, inhaling. Exhale, step out. All right. Moving on. This is full body flow, and it's a forward bending action. We're going to take a wider stance than horse stance. We'll be hinging from the hips. As we fold forward, you might start to feel your hamstrings tug. They're stretching, taut. And eventually that tension will keep your pelvis from going forward any farther. So the way to allow it to continue to go forward is to bend the knees. So be conscious of what's happening in the back of the leg and bend the knee when you start to meet resistance in those muscles. All right, we're going to let the palms turn away from the body. Inhale, arms rise. We're going to take hold of the right wrist. Push forward with the palm of your hand and hinging forward from the hips. Go out, lengthen through the spine, out through the crown of the head. And graze your fingers along the floor if you can. Bend your knees, tuck your tailbone. The hand rises along the midline. You watch it as it comes all the way up and above the head. Exhale, hinge forward. Bend the knees, tuck the tailbone, chin to chest, slowly roll back up. One more this side. Arm all the way up. Your pause. For the next exhalation, slowly release the arms down. Inhale, arms up, gripping the opposite hand. Exhale, hinge forward. Rolling up the spine, watch the hand trace up the midline. Pause at the top. And then exhale, release. Now we're going to be pivoting on the heel. We'll raise the arms up, pivot on the heel, and then we're going to bend the back leg and come down, and then trace the hand up along the body. And we'll do that a number of times, and then we'll pivot, release, arms come up, and do the same thing on the other side. All right. So we're gripping the right hand first and turning to the right. Inhale, arms up. Click the hand, pivot. Exhale, bend the knee, hinging forward as far as you can. You can come maybe to your thigh or your knee. Inhale, up, arch if you can. Exhale. This is opening the door of life. We'll pause at the top here. Pivot. Release the arms down. Exhaling. Same thing now, other side. Inhale. Gripping the left wrist. Turning to the left. Pause, pivot, and returning the arms to the sides. Now we're going to embrace the tiger and return to the mountain. It might seem a bit reminiscent to, at least the beginning, to the fountain that we were exploring earlier. We're going to let the hands come so the fingertips face each other. We're going to inhale, hands rise to solar plexus. Put the palms down, exhale, and the arms swing out to the sides. Inhale, backs of the hands touch, they rise up. Exhale, first finger and thumb touch as we sit back, extending the arms forward. Inhale, arms all the way up. Exhale, they sink down, and we start again. Inhale,
Exhale, push out and away. Inhale, backs of the fingers up to heart level. Exhale, push forward from the heart. Watch through that diamond shape your hands are making, all the way up, and release the hands. Exhale. One more cycle. Slowly release the arms. Feet parallel, horse stance. We'll finish with a bone marrow cleanse that we've explored before. With this time of year, the winter, the kidneys energy is related to winter, kidney and urinary bladder, and as are the bones. And so we want to bolster our immune system, bolstering and amplifying the production of the bone marrow, which creates white blood cells, and they're integral to our immune system. All right, so hands away from the body, turning away from the body. Inhale, arms rise, gathering the energy, and then directing it down through the skeletal system. Imagine it going out through the shoulders, arms, down to your fingertips, down the torso, all the way down to the soles of your feet. Push into the earth. Use your body weight and the strength of your legs to allow you to rise up, rather than just your back muscles. The buttocks muscles, the thighs are really powerful. This time we'll come up for the last, and then direct the energy down to the lower dantian. And we'll complete the practice with our bow.